What's up everyone, my name is Guillaume, this is Thomann's Guitars and Basses, and welcome to a new episode of Hit the Tone. Hello guys, I hope you're all doing fantastic today and welcome to this new episode of Hit the Tone on Thoman's Guitars and Basses. If you're new around here, what I do is take super famous licks, riffs, parts of leads and super famous guitar bits and try to give you all the tools you need to hit the tone. And to do so, I'm working off of your comments, so if you want me to cover any song, any part of a riff, just let me know in the comment section and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. And while you're down there, if you can consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, that would be phenomenal. Thank you so very much in advance. With that said, let's start with today's song, which is I Don't Trust Myself with Loving You by John Mayer. Now you guys know how much I love John Mayer. I've been saying it over and over in Hit the Tone on the Wednesday videos. I have t-shirts to prove it, and I don't want to put that too much in front. Like, I don't want to just do John Mayer because I love it. But the fact is that you guys keep asking for it. Like, every single song that I can possibly think of, there's always like some sort of John Mayer in the comment section. So I'm happy to do it. This one was among the most requested songs of his. Super famous song, super famous sound. So I'm going to try and take you guys through the different steps to get to that sound and that particular playing, starting with the guitar, which to no one's surprise is my Fender Strat. Again, John Mayer is associated to Strats, Strat-shaped guitar, but single coil type of sounds regardless. So whether it's a Fender Strat, whether it's another sort of super Strat, or as long as you have single coil pickups, at least in the neck and middle position, obviously, the PRS Silver Sky is the option as well. I think you'll be in the right ballpark. For that particular intro, we'll be playing in the neck position, so that pickup. Let's go through our amp and pedal setup. That's where the fun is today. Now, as is the case for most of the John Mayer videos that we've made, the amp is always kind of a struggle because he uses at least 2 or 3 100-watt heads all together, and that's the kind of power you can hardly replicate with a combo. So what you want to do is definitely go for something that's kind of American sounding, which is what I'm doing today with the Fender Blues Deluxe. And the main trick that I recommend usually is just to boost the front end of it with an overdrive, just to add a little bit of grit, but also just make the tubes work harder. The amps control will be on the screen, and I will be pushing it with the Super Overdrive, the SD1 by Boss. Really low on the drive. We're not trying to get a gainy sound of it, but just a little bit of dirt. Just a little bit of grit so that it responds to your touch. And if you pick a little bit harder, it's going to be a little bit dirtier. And if you want to get clean, you can always clean it up regardless. So that's what I would do. And that's really, I can assure you that's not what was used either on the recording or any of the live sessions. But to me, it kind of works, and it's a good way to get a bigger sound out of a small amp like this one. The second in chain is going to be the Super Octave OC3 by Boss as well. Now, we're going into the details, but the way John Mayer gets to that sound is that he's using the exact same octave pedal into the loop of the Qtron by Electro Harmonix. Because the Qtron, the big one, has an effects loop, and then you can mix the octave in and out because the octave is barely audible when you listen to the final product. It's very linear, very compressed, and the octave is there, but within the mix you can barely hear it. But when it's not there, you can hear that. So kind of tricky. If you do want to have like the exact same setup, just get the Boss Octave into the loop of the Qtron, and that'll probably lead to the best possible result, or at least the closest result to the original sound. The thing is, we don't have any Qtrons left. You guys bought all of them, so I had to go for my second favorite sort of envelope filter, auto work kind of weird machine, and that's the Spatial Delivery by Earthquaker Devices. Absolutely love that pedal. I've used it already in Childish Gambino, Hit the Tone for Redbone. Phenomenal sound as well. But yeah, if you're doing this, so putting the octave separate from the envelope filter, I'd recommend putting the octave first. This is what I'm doing now. So I'm going to start playing just with the SD1, and then I'll add in the other pedals so that you can hear what kind of a difference they make. Now, obviously, in isolation, what I was talking about with the octave doesn't really hold up. Like, you hear it's such a massive difference when you just put it out of the mix. But once it's back in there, you know, it kind of drowns with the bass and the kicks and everything. So, yeah, in isolation, it's a lot more in your face. But I think I got pretty close. I'm really happy with that sound. I absolutely love envelope filters. Quick tip on that, most of the dynamics that you're gonna get from it are really coming from your picking. So basically where you're going to trigger the filter. You hear a lot of people saying that envelope filters are just unusable because of this or this and that. You really want to be careful as to the attack that you put in your picking, and that's why I'm going to be finger picking throughout the entire video, because I think there's a lot more control in there. And also you want to be careful as to how you overdrive that sound with this in the loop. If you put all your overdrive and gain staging in front of that pedal, then obviously the smallest sort of touch to your guitar is just going to trigger everything because the levels are way higher afterwards. So you kind of want to be careful with this, experiment a little bit, but it's a really fun effect. I just wanted to mention that I'm also using a little bit of reverb from the amp because I like reverb. I'm not sure there's that much reverb on the original recording, but there's always a little bit of it live at least, and I just like it. I think it sounds prettier. So that was just for disclosure. Let's go on to the tutorial part. Now, as I was saying with the auto wah, you might want to just use your fingers on that particular lick because not only is it better for the effect, but it allows you to put a lot more dynamics, a lot more dynamic range in between the different notes from that lick. And I think that's going to make the biggest difference. With that being said, the guitar is tuned in E standard, so nothing too complicated there. Let's have a closer look at how we're going to play the song. Okay, so as you guys saw, it's not particularly complicated, right? It's one note at a time, just, you know, one string at a time. It's manageable. But as for every other John Mayer video that we've done to this point, I really think that the intention in there is really in your phrasing and the dynamics that you put into it. That's where everything lies. Not only because of the sound, and in that particular case, the envelope filter and all that dictate the dynamics to some extent, you know, but the way you're going to phrase that lick, that melody, is everything. So learn the notes. It's really important. You gotta know which notes you're gonna play. But once you're done with that part, I think that's where the exercise really begins, and that's where you're gonna be able to find a particular voicing for it, a particular phrasing to really make it yours, or really get to the point where it's like almost like he plays it. It won't be like he plays it, but it'll almost be like he plays it. And that's the best part about this riff. But with all of that in mind, I think that is it, guys. You have all the tools you need to hit the tone on I Don't Trust Myself with Loving You by John Mayer. As per usual, I really hope that this video was useful. I hope there might be some new information in there. Maybe you didn't know the song and now you know the song and you love the song, and that's fantastic. If you did enjoy that video, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss out on the next ones. In the meantime, I wish you all a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Monday in a new episode of Hit the Tone.